the highest part of the intelligence, sometimes called the vestibule before the one itself. Sometimes it's called the portals before the chamber. It's had various names, but it's a splendor. This is the beauty we were talking about before. This is the perfection of beauty. This is what he calls it. What is it? It's the divine luminosity, radiance. Is it the one? No. What is it? It's as you get close to the one. Because of his closeness to the one, he receives its true light, his whole soul made luminous. And here is the tension in many mystical systems and spiritual systems and philosophical systems. Many systems want to call this the ultimate state. This is bliss, this is ecstasy found in this. Plotinus is going to go beyond that here. Well, what does that mean? You have to go beyond ecstasy, you got to go beyond beauty, you got to go beyond this? What? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, directly from what I just read, I'm going to read the next line. The one is absent from nothing and from everything. It is present only to those who are prepared for it and who are able to receive it. Right? It's always there, right? There's nowhere else. It's present only to those who are prepared for it and are able to receive it, to enter into harmony with it, to grasp and touch it, and by virtue of their likeness to it, by virtue of that inner power similar to and stemming from the one, when it is in that state in which it was when it originated from the one. Thus it will be able to see the one, right? Thus will the one be seen. That's the condition to become the object of contemplation of the one itself. Hey, anyone lacks faith in these arguments should consider the following. Let me do that again. Okay. It's present only to those who are prepared for it, able to receive it, to enter into harmony with it. Right? Okay, you're going to enter into harmony. You are going to enter in harmony with it. Relationship. To grasp it, touch it by virtue of their likeness to it, by virtue of the inner power similar to and stemming from the one. See, it's similar to and it's stemming from the one. It's not the one. Right? When it is in that state in which it was when it originated from the one. Thus the one to be seen as far as it can be must become the object of contemplation. Right? That's the transition from here to here. That's the transition. We want to take a look at it now. What he is now saying is that we go through the intelligence to grasp the one. That's it. It is through the intelligence. It's through the intelligence. It's through that state. In the Bhagavad Gita, this is the highest state. Right? The sun. Right, that experience of Arjuna in the 11th book, in the 11th chapter, is a divine radiance, much like 10,000 suns coming into the heavens all at once. His is a yoga through being, and therefore there's going to be a need to conceive it, to conceive this. Because if you're going to go through it, you ought to know what you're going through, right? Right. These men then should apply themselves to the study of soul, learning other things, that it proceeds from the intelligence and attains excellence or virtue by participating in the reason that proceeds from the intelligence. Next, they must realize that the intelligence is different from our faculty of reasoning. Reasoning implies discursive steps. They must see that knowledge consists in the manifestation of rational forms that exist in the soul and come to the soul from the intelligence. It's the source of knowledge. After one has seen the intelligence, as immediately perceived, one must think of it as quiet, unwavering movement, embracing all things, being all things in its multiplicity, both divisible and indivisible. This multiplicity of coexisting beings, the intelligent realm is near the one. See, you're getting near the one. And nevertheless, it's not the one. It's not supreme, because the intelligence is neither one nor simple. The one is the source of all things. It's simple. It's an awesome existence above. It's the one. It's not a substance. It doesn't possess a unity. The best approach is through its offspring, being. We know it brings the intelligence into existence, that it's the source of all that is best, self-sufficing. It's the begetter of every being. But since the intelligence is a numerate, a multiplicity, it's not the one. We must yet go higher. How are we then to conceive of it? I'm in chapter 6, section 6. Well, something of its unity, its oneness can be understood. See, he goes from a yoga spiritual to trying to train the mind to understand it, and to understand it prepares it for a vision, so it goes back and forth from a spiritual discipline to how to conceive of it properly. So he moves from philosophy to a spiritual discipline, back and forth. Something of its oneness, its unity, can be understood from its self-sufficiency. It's necessarily the most powerful, the most self-sufficient, the most independent. For whatever is not one but multiple needs something else. It needs unification. The one is already one. It does not even need itself. Being, it's multiple. And in order to be what it is, it needs multiplicity of things it contains. Each one of the things it contains is what it is by its union with the others and not by itself. So it needs others. One doesn't need anything. There must be something then that is fully self-sufficient. That is the one. It alone, within and without, is without need. It needs nothing outside itself, either to exist or to achieve well-being, or to be sustained in existence. It's the cause of other things. How could it owe its existence to it? Other things need it, support, foundation. What needs foundation is material mass, which unfounded falls. The one is the foundation for all things and gives them at once the same, and the same time existence, location. What needs locating is not self-sufficient. The one cannot aim at any good or desire anything. It's superior to good because it's the good itself. The one, therefore, but the one in its aloneness can neither know nor be ignorant of anything. Being with itself, it does not need to know itself. Actually, we shouldn't even attribute to it this presence with itself if we're to preserve its unity. Therefore, the good is, in another sense, beyond all this. Therefore, the cause of all existing things cannot